Welcome back to Exploring Whiskeys. I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin. Today we are going to be sampling a Kentucky whiskey, bourbon, 4-grain, Jeptha Creed. There's a pretty interesting background to this, but very new. I'm not sure what the distribution is. My guess is it's probably not nationwide at this point. They really only started producing, 16. I think they started bottling the very first of their whiskeys. It's an interesting story. They're in Shelbyville. Kentucky.
Not Shelbyville.
Not Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Shelbyville.
Just south of Louisville. They own, a few thousand acres or 1,000 acres, something like that. This particular family, the Nethery family, they own some acres down there. They wanted to start making their own whiskeys. So they really got into the corn part. Has to make up at least 51% of the bourbon. That's what makes it a bourbon. So they planted a non-GMO regular yellow corn, and then they planted a batch of the Bloody Butcher corn. So it's an artisanal type corn. I know a lot of distilleries down in Texas also do some of their, if you think of like the blue corn chips and things like that. So there's some artisanal type corns that they're starting to mess with down in Texas. I've never heard of Bloody Butcher corn until this whiskey, but it's one of those heirloom type corns. So they've planted the 2 fields, and apparently the local animals would just bed down in the regular corn, and they would, this is all they wanted to eat. So they thought they had something there. When they went to start sampling and messing around with their blends and all that kind of stuff, they went up into Wisconsin. I didn't know that was a place to figure out your distillery, but
no,
whatever. And on accident,
beer. I mean,
there's a lot of equipment up there. Yeah, okay, I could buy that. They accidentally ended up with all malted grains. So they had their corn, so 70% Bloody Butcher corn, and then everything else is malted. The rye, the wheat, and the barley are all malted, which is a little bit different. A lot of time it's just the barley that's malted, and the wheat's usually not, and the rye is usually not. So that's a little bit unique. Outside of that, we've got 49% alcohol, so 98 proof. It's kind of an interesting choice. It's not the 100. It's not, but it is up there. Outside of that,
be curious how they settled on that. I mean, you think they would just, wonder how much different the flavor was.
Yeah. Well,
at 100 versus 98.
98.
Or
I'm not sure.
94, because you find ones in that 90 to 94, but I smell young.
Yeah, and I do believe it is young. I want to say
it's 2 years.
2 years is kind of where they settle in at. Yeah, I get there's a lot of ethanol on it. There's a little bit of an odd note, but it's not too crazy.
No, there's no sweetness at all in the nose. I'm not getting any.
No.
I'm getting almost a medicinal.
A little bit, yeah. There's a little bit of a, it's not the iodine from Isla, but it's like a medicine of some sort. Yeah, it's a very different nose to any other bourbon.
The taste and the finish is spicy.
Yeah,
there's dry, but it doesn't last very long. A little bit of smoke.
Yeah, oak smoky. Yeah, not Isla smoke, but there's definitely a char note there that's coming through pretty strongly. It's not super sweet compared to
No.
There is a little bit of a brown sugar at the very, very, but it's hidden underneath a lot of different weird flavors for a bourbon. It's throwing me off so bad. Ooh, going back to the nose, that got worse.
Yeah.
Why did it do that?
I'm getting more of a metallic. The second to go back around on the aftertaste.
What? Why? What is that? Oh man, I don't know what that note is. I really wish I could place that note, but yeah, it changed from that not sweet note that you originally got to there's just a really weird note there.
This is gonna sound weird, but the aftertaste that keeps lingering on the second pull tastes how to spray paint fumes smell.
Yes. That's exactly, yes.
It
Yes.
sounds weird, but that's what I'm getting.
As soon as you say that, like, I can totally get that propellant, whatever that propellant is in spray paint. Yeah, there's a lot of that note in the finish of this. There is a touch of a sweetness. There is.
If you aerate it, it's more sweet on the front end. As soon as you stop and swallow, it just goes right back to the.
It does not get better.
It goes back to that spicy, metallic paint fume aftertaste. I don't know. I wonder if it's just maybe it should have stayed in the barrel a little longer. It's just too young. Well, I did have a chance to mature.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. Like it's gonna have. I know there's certain tastes that come through depending on the time that it's in a barrel. So a lot of times, like at 2 years, I'm expecting so much more of a butterscotch type flavor to come through. Nope, don't get that at all. The sweetness is there's maybe a touch of vanilla.
Maybe it has to do because the three.
They're malted.
If you
but
if you kept the same mash bill, but didn't go with the malted,
what would the
wheat,
difference
rye,
be?
and barley?
Yeah, just malted barley.
I would be interested to see if they. Is this their only bottle? This is the only one I've ever seen.
I know they've done vodkas and gins, and they've had a couple other things that they've distilled. That is the only bottle I've ever seen of their bourbons. Is this 4-grain, and it's so weird because it's such a traditional mash bill, 70% corn. How many bourbons have we had where it's 70% corn, and then it's?
And you think it'd be super sweet?
You would think that, yeah, but I don't know what Bloody Butcher corn tastes like. It's not the number one yellow corn that almost everybody else uses. And then we have 15% rye. There's a little bit of a spice, but I can't.
Where we get the spice from.
I can't just say it's rye. 10% wheat, 5%. Yeah, 15, 10, and 5.
Yeah, you would think with that much corn, that much wheat.
Yeah,
that would be really sweet.
That's 2 sweet notes. That's 2 things that should come through as sweet and smooth. And I think personally, dude, the spray paint, the spray paint / now I'm thinking of other things with propellants, hairspray. There's that is what the nose is. It's more of an aerosol propellant.
Yeah.
Which goes back to, I think we've said this in other episodes. So this family decided they wanted to mess around and make this whiskey.
I know where you're going.
Where did they get to the point where they tested it all out and said, that's the flavor profile I wanted? I don't get it.
Nope. Not me.
That is not a nose that I think would be super interesting. And
yeah, no, I mean, I'm picking up something else in the nose, and it's like when you open a plastic container of like tools, or I mean, maybe it's more that metallic.
I was gonna say Legos.
No, Legos.
Like that plasticky, like that, like super like packaged plastic note comes through. I don't get it. And the fact that this
is probably our harshest review so far.
$50 to $60 for this bottle, which I get you're using an artisanal corn. You're using all malted grains outside of that. All that's super expensive. I get why you need to charge $60. But how you got to that flavor profile and said, yes, I am bottling this and charging $60 for it, I don't get.
Nope, me neither.
I don't get.
We tried it.
Yeah, we tried it. It
was a donated bottle.
It was a gift, and the person who bought it didn't know anything about it and just thought, they've never seen me have it. They've never heard of it. They thought, let's give it a shot. Totally agree. I love the idea.
See what's left. We
try. We definitely gave it a try multiple times. And every time we come back to it, there's something terribly off with this bottle. And the sad part is I read other like reviews or anything, and other people love it. So I don't know what I'm missing,
Again,
but I'm missing
everyone's
something.
palate is different.
That's correct.
There's a market out there for this.
I'm sure there is.
We're just not in it.
We are not.
So,
We are not it.
again, I would be interested if they went without the malt.
Right. Not
What it would be
malted
like.
wheat,
But
not
then I'm
malted
also
rye.
curious if they've got any other ones that they're
Experimenting
with that might be coming out soon.
Yeah, apparently they're producing 9 barrels a day now. Doesn't sound ridiculously large, but that's still a lot. I mean, it's pretty big.
Well, it sounds like a pretty small outfit.
They
so
also
9.
play in the size of their barrels. That's the from what I was reading and doing some research. They do like the standard barrel. They also play around with a smaller barrel, which would give you a little bit more of an oak note. I don't necessarily get that. I mean, it's there, but it's not overly strong that I would think a smaller barrel would really add a lot of oak to it. I'm not getting that either. So I hope they continue to mess around.
If they come out with another bottle, I'd be curious to
Try it and see if there's a material change upgrade.
Upgrade.
Hopefully,
Yes.
upgrade. That's just so weird.
Yeah.
So weird. It's a very weird nose.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to say this was an interesting episode, to say the least. Probably our harshest review so far.
I think so.
But again, I mean, everyone plays around with the mash bills and their ingredients, and everyone's palate's different. So, I mean, if there's anyone out there in our audience that is a big fan of Jeptha Creed, we'd love to hear your opinion, your take on it.
Yeah, what is it that we're missing? What is the flavor profile that we should be looking for? And maybe it's just the fact that it reminds us of kind of industrial stuff.
Yeah.
That turns us, okay, we can't
Get past that.
Can't get past that. But if it's a different note, maybe go back to it and give it a shot.
Yeah, let us know.
Please.
But if you enjoyed this review, we would absolutely encourage you to hit the like button at the bottom of the screen.
Subscribe to the channel if you're while you're down there, just that little subscribe button just to the side of the big thumbs up. If you could hit both of those, that'd be great. The bell icon if you want to get notified every time we put out a new episode. But outside of that, a comment as to what we're missing here, because we're missing something. I'm hoping that's what it is. We're just missing something. So.
Well, until then, we appreciate you joining this episode, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
That's great. Right back to the Old Forester, huh?